Hey, race fan, Brian Davis races, and you can too. Today I'm going to talk about this my cycling team, Diablo Cycling. We're going to talk about teams and clubs in general. Now, I've been on a team for a number of years. We started with a different name, we've transitioned to this name, Diablo Cycling. We've moved from a couple different key sponsors. Our sponsor at the moment, Recyclist Bike Shop in Kaukauna, Wisconsin, does an amazing job of keeping us ready to go for the season, as well as our other sponsors that are on our jerseys. But really, why am I bringing this subject up to the channel? Well, the goal on the channel is to grow our sport, grow our knowledge, and grow our fitness. And I think cycling teams and clubs have a huge role in doing that. So whether they're USA Cycling sanctioned or not, if you just have a group of cyclists that somewhat formalize themselves, I think it really adds an air of legitimacy and validity to getting new people into the sport, like taking them to their first race or walking them through group ride tactics or group ride etiquette. Or my team, we had our annual team meeting recently. I interviewed a few of them on why they joined a cycling team. I'd love to ask you the same question. Why did you join a cycling team? Throw the link to your team down below or mention them by name with city, state, country so people can find them. And let's just help each other grow the sport. Now, I think cycling teams are really the linchpin to helping that happen. So let's see what guys on my team had to say. And then I sat down with Parker from USA Cycling, who is the coordinator for teams and clubs, and asked him a little bit more detail about how to go about starting a team or a club with USA Cycling. So that's what we're going to do today. Thanks for checking out the channel. Please do subscribe. I do put out new content, and sometimes I do cooking stuff. And I know you guys don't love the cooking stuff, but I love the cooking stuff. Seriously, if you're going to win races, a lot of times that's going to be done in the kitchen, not on the bike. So stick with me on the cooking stuff. Why did you first join a team?
I don't know.
Can you remember that long ago?
Just to get people to ride with and learn how to race.
Learn how to race. That's a good one.
That's a great question.
I struggled with it.
I joined this cycling team because I wanted to get faster and the camaraderie. It was a distance for me to come from Eagle River to down here, but yeah, I like getting beat up by you guys.
Well, a guy I worked with was on it, and he said you should be on this team. There's a certain element of a status back then when you're in your 20s. It's like, ooh, I'm on a team, I'm getting a jersey, and all that.
The only people that I knew that rode bikes were you guys.
All on the team.
It was like Derek and Peter Post and eventually kind of started hanging out with you guys. Just kind of got thrown into it, and that was all I knew.
So you didn't seek out a team. You just got absorbed into the sport through the team, I guess, to some extent.
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was because of Greg.
To reiterate that, the person who got them into cycling to start with were both people on the team.
Chance to be around people who knew more than me, learn from them.
Free lube. I'm super excited. I wanted to reach out, like I said in the intro, reach out to USA Cycling, kind of get their perspective on teams. And Parker from USA Cycling has been gracious enough to give us some time to talk to us a little bit about USA Cycling's perspective and how it relates to teams. So welcome to the show, Parker. I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So let me just introduce the crowd to who you are real quick. So maybe just real quick, go through your background, how you arrived at USA Cycling, your interaction with cycling, and I'd love to hear how you ever joined your first team. I'm just assuming that you did. Maybe you didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, so I grew up riding bikes, not really racing bikes. But I had family cycling, racing in the blood. So my late uncle was Steve Tilford, the famous cyclist coming out of Kansas.
Yeah.
So I grew up watching him race all across the Midwest.
Wow.
That was a really cool experience for me, and that was kind of where the bug got started. And then it never really had the interest in racing really until later on in life, when I actually started my club at my school. I did collegiate cycling through that. So my school didn't have a team since 72, I think.
Oh, cool.
So I brought that back a little bit. And that was my intro into cycling, and then left school in 2017 and arrived at cycling 6 months later. So that's how I've ended up here. And from here, I do all of our membership and licenses. So if you've ever contacted USA Cycling, you probably have had an interaction with me regarding your license over the past few years. Any of you out there that have any issues with your clubs or want to know more about how clubs function within USA Cycling, that's going to be under me going forward.
Is there a difference in the USA Cycling jargon between a team and a club, or is that the same thing?
It's the same thing. Yeah, clubs, big clubs like CRCA, Century Road Club of Association out of New York, is the club, and then they have their registered teams underneath. Think of Education First. They're still in our system under like the club. I think our mission is to provide fun, safe, equitable racing across all disciplines, allow for riders to grow within the sport of cycling. Yeah.
How does USA Cycling approach getting new racers who are totally green, have never raced before? How do you get them in?
It's a lot really through the local level effort through clubs. Is really that's the main driver and vehicle for people to get introduced to cycling. Or it happens at a younger junior level where it's a parent that's been racing all their lives and they want to get their kids into the sport. It provides a good vehicle for getting new people into the sport.
What would be the front door to USA Cycling to start a club?
Yeah, I think it would be to check out usacycling.org, the members tab, and go to clubs. That has a good overview of what the club program is all about.
So like if I'm a rider that has spent years in the sport, I love the sport, I have a passion for the sport, it's done things in my life that I think are really powerful and I'd like to introduce other people to the sport. One way I could do that, of course, is just by talking to people and getting them to come on group rides. But another way I could do it is to go to USA Cycling, establish a club, and then other people are interested in joining that club because you can gain points and all those types of things. But you can also, more importantly, I think you can help build the fabric of cycling to get new people into the sport. Like that's what I think is the motivation. And then so if you're watching this video on my channel and you're thinking like, oh, that sounds fun, I want to join a club. I'm assuming there's a directory of all the clubs that are available on USA Cycling on the website as well. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes. All active clubs will be listed on the website. Yes.
So if I'm thinking about joining a club or starting a club, what am I getting in that $200 that's helping my club succeed?
Your club would be listed in the contact information, so that would take you to that club's website or any of their Facebook page for rides and whatnot. And then the big thing would be for them, most clubs don't know about, is then access to club insurance on top of that. So if you're interested in having a general liability policy, $1 million coverage per occurrence, some clubs might find that valuable depending on the areas that they live in. So it's not going to cover the rider. It's going to cover the club as an organization.
Okay.
Let me clarify that. But yeah, I think that's so that's a big element there. And then to the point about gaining points for the clubs for the year, club of the year program. And then,
do you know offhand how many clubs are active in USA Cycling across the country?
We finished out the year around 2,000. It'd be like, I find enjoyment riding a bike, and I just want to share that experience with others and provide that same level of excitement and enjoyment. And having a club is, I think, the best vehicle to do that. That was for someone that has never thought about a club, or then knows someone who's thinking about starting a club.
Yeah.
Is then you're the one that's providing that
opportunity.
You're the one that's like, you're making it happen for your community. If there's never been a club, or there's like there was a club before but not now, or you want to create a different niche within the club. I mean, there's clubs for different groups. I mean, there's clubs for more that focus more on road, more on the mountain side of things. Cool and like exciting if you want to create a club and then bring that opportunity, bring that excitement to others and share that under your group.
At some point, when we find something that we love, we want to share it with people, and I think starting a club is a big part of that. And it's certainly been, like, when I interviewed the guys on the team, it was interesting. Like, a lot of folks just sort of stumbled into it. Well, they think they stumbled into it, right? Like, oh, I met this guy and that's how I got in the club. But if that guy that you met didn't have this connection with the club, that conduit to get you to show up to the first race is just different, right? Like, so if I'm like, oh, it looks like you are into bikes, let's go to a race together, like, that's fine. But oh, it looks like you're into bikes. And by the way, I'm in this club and there's like 20 people that race bikes and train. And, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like you create your little family. And that's one part of that I just adore about cycling. I can literally go to anywhere in the country. I could get dropped there out of the blue. And within a week, I would have a social network. And I know that there's people I could go drink beer with, hang out with, go for bike rides with, and just socialize with and find a connection to instantly. And I don't think you get that with a ton of other activities in our adult lives. So anyway, I'll put the link to USA Cycling and everything in the description down below. So if you have any questions and you're watching this video, feel free to reach out to USA Cycling and they'll get you squared away. So I think that's all we want to talk about today. Parker, anything else?
Nope, that covers it all for me.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I appreciate it.